they may literally have, it's not an excuse, but they may literally have no idea what to do or say or even feel in a moment like that. So they shut down and they retreat. It's technically not personal, it's survival. And again, more on that later. All right. Keep listening. I'm gonna keep you hooked. So fives spend much of their time observing and contemplating, kind of like those like ancient philosophers you think of. What's that statue that's thinking? What's that called? I should know. But the types that just sat around thinking deeply about life, that's a five. And so as they dive into their observations, they start to internalize knowledge and build a sense of self-confidence. And along the way, they might uncover fascinating new insights or even combine ideas in creative ways, like composing music inspired by water or wind, And when their observations are validated or when other people actually get what they're saying, it then, therefore, confirms their sense of competence and scratches at that core desire for mastery and for competence, right? Yes, that should have been our drinking game for that word. But it's just so they can feel more comfortable and be able to live into the world and that they have something to offer. So it's basically an emotional equivalent of someone saying to them, wow, man, you actually know what you're talking about, huh? Oh my God. If you said that to a five, that's the compliment of the century for them. So remember that. I'm giving you a roadmap into your spouse's or your friend's heart. All right. So you better listen. Let me know what you think. But knowledge, understanding, and insight are absolute treasures for fives because their sense of identity is built around having ideas and offering perspectives that are unusual or thought provoking. And this is why they rarely linger on what's already common or widely accepted. So instead, their focus is pulled toward the hidden or overlooked or the strange or bizarre or even the unthinkable. Okay. Should I add in another adjective there? My God. But in exploring uncharted territory, knowing something no one else does, or creating something no one else has imagined gives our fives a sense of uniqueness that just sets them apart. And they believe that carving out this niche is the most reliable path to independence, self confidence, or personal authority. So, fives develop an intense focus on whatever they can master and feel secure about. Not all of them are gonna be astrophysicists or scholars, have 5 PhDs, but depending on their intelligence and the resources around them as they were a kid or as an adult, they master whatever it is that has just captured their attention, even if it's rocks. Okay. Literally, nothing's off the table. There are big nerds of the Enneagram. I love it though. I vibe really well with fives. But this intense focus of our fives can lead to, it's not a bad but, you know what I mean? This intense focus leads our fives to remarkable discoveries or creations, innovations. But when their personality is more fixated, like the levels of health that they might be in, it can create self-defeating problems. Okay. Which is true for any type. We're all self-destructive in some way by trying to achieve our core desires. That's the whole point of the Enneagram. One of the main points of the Enneagram. But if their work or niche they have created for themselves can serve as a distraction from important everyday practical things that they might be facing. So whatever the sources of their anxieties are, like relationships or physical health or inability to get a job, etc., fives tend to just not deal with it and just ignore it all. And they focus on the things that make them feel more competent, right? So if it's relationships, guess what they are avoiding? Those hard conversations, conflict, even, or just maybe even relationships entirely. That's not uncommon. My ex stayed single for quite some time on purpose. But Fives are our hermits of the Enneagram, and it's really just simply easier for them to be alone or locked away in their office all day long and all night rather than expose themselves to potential things that could make them feel less than. All right. So, the irony here is that no matter what degree of mastery they have in their niche, this cannot solve their more basic insecurities about functioning in the world. So they gather information, research, they develop ideas that they believe will make them feel competent and confident. If you want to play a drinking game, go for it. I'm going to say that word so many more times. But in that process, they're avoiding everything that they need to do to actually gain that confidence that they're searching for. They're not interacting with others, they're not developing their social skills or anything related to their actual real needs. Okay. So the challenge for our fives is to understand that they can pursue whatever questions or problems or subjects that spark their imaginations and maintain relationships, take proper care of themselves, and do all of the things that are the hallmarks of a healthy, fulfilling life. Isn't that ironic? Isn't it ironic? Is that a song? No, I don't know. Anyway, let's move on to our next section. Our light side of the fives are the beauty of them and the gifts that they offer the world. Because when they're healthy, oh boy, they're incredible. Here are their superpowers. One, insightful. They see patterns and truths most people overlook. They're also objective. I vibe really well with this part of them because I can be objective as well and remove my emotions from a situation. So, fives are less clouded by emotions and more focused on reality. Again, this is the healthy fives, right? Then they are also innovative. They are the inventors, the philosophers, the scientists of the Enneagram. Any major big time science guy from the past, probably a five. I guarantee it. I stake my reputation on that. Lastly, they are calm under pressure. While the rest of us might be crying in the bathroom, the five is like, well, according to my calculations, this situation is survivable. I'd be right there, like, yeah, he's right, totally. And everyone's like, you bitch, that's so insensitive. Like, that part of myself, this is not about me right now, but that part of myself has gotten me in so much trouble growing up. Like, people just think I'm just a total B. When we get to the type 8 episode, I'm sorry if it's longer than most. I'm sorry. I'm only human, but I'll be as objective as possible. I promise. I promise. But, I whether you're a 5 or an 8 or a 10, there's no 10, but you know what I mean. You're going to just naturally know more about your own type than the others, okay? All right. So, moving on. As an example for a healthy type 5, think of being locked in, or not locked, but stuck on a deserted island with a couple different Enneagram types. The type 7 is making cocktails from the coconuts that they found. The type 2 is hugging everyone and telling them that it's going to be okay. The 8 is me bossing everyone around, telling them what to do and blah, blah, blah. While the 5, well, they've already built the water filtration system and mapped out the whole island. Like, we would not be able to survive without them. But I will say, even though I would be bossing everybody around, sorry, that is so loud. This is why I'm so excited for my new house. We will not be disturbed as such. Yeah, I would be bossing everyone around on this deserted island, but I'd also be drunk at the same time because I have a little bit of a type 7 in me because of the wings. So I'd be drunk, but also being like, you do that, help him do this, build that. Like, yeah, that would be fun. Also scary. All right. So that's the beauty of our fives. They hold knowledge that genuinely make the world a better place. And when they're healthy, they can hold multiple perspectives at once without clinging to any of them, right? That objective nature about them. This allows them to discern the most useful way of approaching a situation. And fives are deeply observant and perceptive. They're tuned into those little subtle details that most people overlook. And many also have one or two senses that are unusually sharp, like their literal actual senses. One five might have a rare sensitivity to color, while another might be attuned to sounds, picking up on rhythm and pitch with absolute ease. It reminds me actually of Charlie Puth. Go look at his TikTok.